Hello everyone, my name is Roosevelt Campos. I'm so excited to be here for talking about setter analysis in this course level 3 in Montenegro. Now we are talking about the special analysis in data and videos. That kind of analysis is used for many coaches around the world. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Roosevelt Campos. Like I said before, I'm FIBB coach level 2, performance analyst on the Cuba men's national team. I was working in Venezuela national team and Dominican Republic and Peru national team, and my last season in Egypt, working like performance analyst. And like talking about instructor, I was working with the South American Confederation FIBB course like guest, talking about the analysis and technique in volleyball, Peruvian coaches college, and in 2020 I was ball station representing Latin like instructor in Spanish, and talking about some competition, important competition for me. I was in 4 World Championships, 2 World Cups, Grand Prix, and 1 World Cup champs in 2024 and VNL 2024 and this year in 2025. First of all, I want to talking about the exits so different setters around the world with different philosophies, with different techniques, with different kind of formation during younger teams, different styles, different speeds. One of question that we did all the time is how do they think? This is the main question that we did all the time when we're talking about the setter. How do they think? What is the main decision? What is the choice in the different game phase? And this course is try to show the tools that we can use for try to discover how do they think. For me, exist set priorities when we want start to analyze. No just talking about setter, is talking about all the skills, but in this situation talking about the setters. But the first question that I need to try to do is what I need to analyze. First of all, I need to keep a goal when I want to start to analyze. I need to ask myself what I need to analyze in the beginning. For example, if I want to analyze first of all the side out and then the transition, or I want to analyze first the break point instead side out. This is the priorities that we need to take in the moment we start the analysis. The another question is why. Why I choose this information at the beginning? Why I need study, for example, the side out? Why I need to start or analyze first in the first time the transition or break point, etc. Maybe with this question, we need to try to set the goals when we start the analyze. And the last question in this personal opinion is for what? For what I need to start the analyze with? For what? What is the goal? What is the special that we need to try to start the analysis? Talking about the setter, for example, I think that if we have these priorities at the beginning, what, why, and for what, I think that I have the main goal when I want to analyze. Analysis type. These tools is important for us because we have many information, and when we want to analyze the setter, but if we can separate the information, I think that we can choose the better information and try to do the best analyze when we want to check the setter. First of all, by rotation. For me, this is the important analyze for try to start to, to study the setter. By rotation, we need to check the information and trends in different rotation, and we can check what is the important and stronger rotation when we want to analyze the setter. Second is the game phase. For me, it's important try to check if the side out is more important than transition and or break point. Maybe is the stronger trend in this setter. And for me, if we can to check deeper the game phase is so better for try to discover to setter choose. By trends, this is the main, because we need to understand what is the principal trends of this setter. Maybe when the ball is perfect, maybe the trend is two, or maybe it's just the middle blockers, or try to change the distribution for another position. But the trend is try to important to check. The another is by score, because the behavior of the setters is not the same during the set. Maybe the behavior from 1 till 19 is so different from the 20 plus, from the 20 till 25, for example. What I think that it's important to try to check what is the decision of this setter by score. Body setter, this is so important because we need to identify what is the position of the setter, and we can try to understand what is the setter choose in the specific moment. And by zones, this is one of the principles analysis that we can check by zones. Maybe we can do another kinds of studies or analysis by the setter by zone, but we can check, for example, in set in 2, in 9, set in 3, set in 8, set in 4 and 7. Functioning with the body setter, we can check the best trend of this setter when touch the ball in specific zones. So I think that with the analyze type, I give to you some tools that we can start to analyze the setter. Maybe starting by rotation and finishing with by zones, body setter, by score, by trends. I think that we can extract a lot of information in this case. Trying this analyze type. Necessary tools. This is how I can register the information with the another tools. First of all, with the evaluation criteria, I think that like coach, we need to be able to understand the evaluation criteria for this is the numbers, the stats, the data that we need to try to find the meaning for to make decision technique and tactic during the training or during the game, or when I want to do my game playing. I need to understand how works the evaluation criteria. Second, the information record. We need record all information as possible. That we need try to collect a lot information, but we need to understand these trends that we're talking about before. And tactic training for me is so important to training that the information that we have when we want to analyze some information, but we need to try to transferred to the court, and players maybe can understand very well the information that we analyzed before. And the video analysis, for me, is the resume of the all these tools that we're talking about before: evaluation criteria, information records, and try to check the most matches for try to understand that we want to training and we want to show in the video session to the players. When we talk about the evaluation criteria, we can check from the double negative till the double plus. We can check all the numbers that we need to try to understand, talking about the efficiency on total in each evaluation criteria for try to make the decision after analysis. Another information important talking about the data is the setter distribution. We need to understand the setter calls and the total of the decision by zones. We need to check and understand how it can work with this kind of information. We need to check what is my special setter call, what is the decision in this setter call, and what is the choose of this setter with these numbers. And we need to try understand the trends. We need to try understand the another information that we can check. It's important talking this information about the distribution. Maybe we can check by reception type, by reception zones. But in this data, in this case, talking about the setter distribution, we can't check the body setter, for example, and for this we need to go to the video. But the setter distribution is the important talking about the data for study the setters. Advanced analysis based on evaluation criteria. This is a main study when we talk about the advanced analysis. Is more information in one sheet. We can extract information about the setter calls, about the trend by zones, about the trend basis on score, trend basis on repetition, trends, transition over zone 8, for example, and we can do whatever you want. We need to create our own studies. I want to show that I use it sometimes for analyze great setters during the VNL, and we can check all the information, right information. I like to take notes for example, in the quick close, quick away, 7, quick from 2. I can take a note for the player, check this information in words. For me, it's important to mix this kind of information, numbers, colors, shape, for try to keep more information in one sheet and collect all the information in this sheet. There is a lot advanced analysis, but this is an example that you can check maybe for you try to create the best for you. There is a lot of softwares like VolStation, Data Volley, Volumetrics, Hold, another software that work with advanced analysis, analysis dynamic that can change when we are scouting the match. Maybe we can try to find some analysis on this software, but you can understand the best way that I'm talking about advanced analysis. When we talk about the trends, we need to understand which information or which actions is repeating or changing during the match. For this, we need to get a lot matches for try to repeat this information and understand the trends. Sometimes when we are studying the trends, we can understand patterns. This is the main information that we can understand when we check a lot matches of the same situation. We can check the sequence, if this sequence is repeating or this sequence is changed, talking about the distribution or maybe set decision behaviors. We can check during the sets, for example, or during matches. What is the difference behaviors of these setters, movements. This important depend of the zone of the ball. Maybe we can check how she or he run and rise the ball. Maybe we can understand the movement. It's important. So for me, check the flow court. For me, the flow court is the principal behavior, but like a leader inside the court. There is setters that they are leaders in the court, but the flow and during the set maybe sometimes is depend of the behavior of the setter. Following the sequence, talking about the evaluation by trends, we got a specific rotation. We can check the specific rotation when the setter is doing something special in this rotation. We need to try to check a lot matches in this specific rotation for try to understand what is the special movement, special distribution, special decision in this specific rotation. Another one is reception type. We need to check maybe is the reception is double plus, is exclamative, negative, and this is important for try to identify the trends. Reception zones. This is a good point because we need to check how is the behavior of this setter when the reception is in zone 1 or the reception is in zone 6 or is if the reception is in zone 5. The behaviors is different, depend the specific rotation and depend of the reception type. Another one is the middle blockers movement. This is so important for try to teach of our setters make decision depend of the middle blockers movement. I think that we need to try to check, for example, the serve negative, and the serve negative we can check if the opposite blockers is in help or no help. Maybe it's closed or the block is open, and we need to try to teach of our setter what is the decision. And when we are analyze the another setters, we can check what is the distribution when the block is closed, or the block is helping, or when the block is open. Repetition. And when we talk about repetition, is so important to check if, for example, in side out and the first ball side out, the option is 4, but in the transition when the ball back of our court maybe is the same decision in zone 4 or change the distribution. This case is so important to try to check how many repetition or how many decision in the same position is taking or making this setter in the maybe first ball side out transition or breakpoint transition. And set from zone. This is so important because it's not the same when the setter touch the ball in zone 2, for example. It's not the same when the setter touch the ball in zone 4. Maybe is playing against the flow or maybe playing with the flow. For this is good option. Try to understand what is the trends of another setters in set from zone. Distribution by reception type. This is important when we talk about the reception perfect and positive, exclamation, and negative, talking about out system. But in this ball, maybe it's different the speed of the ball in male and the volleyball men's. Maybe the negative, the serve can play with the middle blocker, or maybe it depends if the ball is close to the 3 meters line. Maybe the setter try to push the ball against the middle blockers, or the speed zone 4 on zone 2. And women's volleyball maybe so slow in the most of the time is the high ball maybe in 4 or maybe in 2, but it's important to check the distribution by reception type. So I want to show you some videos about the different reception type for try to understand what is the trend with each receptions type. When we talk about the evaluation but reception zones, the performance analysts have a pattern with the zones and the different reception. I want to show one model, but we can modify whatever you want, whatever the system that you use in your team about the sum of reception. But in general, we try to put the perfect reception in this position of the court. The positive reception try to in the edge of the perfect ball. The exclamation, okay, the exclamation zone, we try to use this zone if depend of your system. And the negative, in the most case, is in the ball out of system, is the zone or the area out of system. In general, when we try to separate the areas in the court, talking about the evaluation by reception zones. Distribution by reception zone. When we talk about the distribution by reception zone, is when we talk about before, like it's not the same, the behavior is not the same of the setter. For example, when I put my setter almost in the middle of the court in the zone 3, and it's not the same, it's not the behavior, maybe whatever rotation when the ball is in reception in 1-9 or 6-8 or 5-7. It's different the behavior, and in the same idea is different the distribution. We have or we can find different setter that they have more easier the way to set of one specific zone when the ball is receiving in 1-9, for example, and their principal choose is 4, or when the ball is 5 is receiving in 5-7, their principal skills is for zone 2. Is for example, but we can check this when we analyze the videos, when we analyze a lot of information in all areas, when the setter make a choose, when, for example, 100 balls receiving in 1-9, we can confirm the information that this setter is choosing, for example, zone 4 when the ball is receiving in 1-9. But if we want to confirm this information, we need to try to check a lot movement in the same case, and this is the same information in the all areas 6-8, 5-7 or 1-9. We can understand what is the trends or what is the setter choose and the distribution by reception zones. Evaluation by set from zone. When we talk about set from zone, we need to understand that we have two different ways to analyze the zones. We have a general zones, like we know 1-9-2, 6-8-3 or 7-4, and we have subsums when we try to go deeper in the setter analysis. It's not the same when the setter is touching the ball in 2B, for example, instead 2D. It's not the same when the setter is touching the ball in 4A instead 4C. The decision maybe is different. Maybe sometimes we can find the same decision, or maybe the behavior of this setter is different. For this, we try to separate the zones in subzones. Maybe I think that we can understand deeper the setter decision in sometimes. When we talk about the analysis by body setter, we can check the reception zones. When before we talking about the setter zones, we can check, depend of the reception zone, we can check the position of the setter, and we can identify the distribution. Race to reach the ball. So important to check this situation because it's different the run in the court with each setter, and we try to check the kind of the run, the kind of the race to reach the ball. Distance is important. Try to check is the decision is against the flow or with the flow, long or short. And shoulders orientation, this is maybe in the 8th zone. We can check the weight that or the position of the shoulder orientation, and this is good way for identify the distribution or the position that that setter want to set. Jump decision or not. Not all the time the setter make decision for jump or not, and in this situation we can check if when the setter jump, maybe with the reception double plus, maybe they make the distribution to zone 4, or maybe when the ball is double plus but the run maybe is slow to reach the ball and the decision is no jump, maybe play with the middle blockers, for example, when we need to try to check this information. And in individual talents, for me, maybe this is not the data information, but maybe we can check the individual talents, because some setters have talents difference like the rest, and maybe with the special balls maybe try to do difference the decision in the distribution, and maybe we can try to understand. In this case, for example, we can check the body setter and the setter choose. We try to keep the focus in the body setter and the body position. We can check the against the flow, for example. Check this, the long distance set, and we can identify how this movement, how is the decision that they take in the different position. We can see here, but is so complicated for setback, and the setter, the body setter, we can watch that is in front of the zone 4, and the hand and arm position is in distance to the front, okay, especially maybe to the front or back. Maybe here is rising set playing with the middle blocker, but in the same idea, the body is all the time try to keep the decision over the front. This situation is when we talk about the individual talent, is the fake swings. Is so complicated, and the ball return and the movement is the same. Try to fake the blockers, and it's different, the position and the decision. If we can check the long set or against the flow, this is important to check. And cross step, this movement, we identify this kind of movement. Check here is over right shoulder when we talk about the shoulder orientation, and the last idea is talk about the when we watch a lot matches of the same setter, we can understand these body setters decisions. When we want to do a deeper setters analyze, we can check the game phase, side out and break point. It's so important to check the behaviors of the decisions in the distribution. We need to check a lot of information about the side out, the behavior during each phase, break point, and transition. Setter calls. When we talk about the setter calls, we need to understand the set names. Is the movement of the middle blockers that the setter try to confuse the opponent middle blockers. When we talk about, for example, base 1 is the K1 or 1. I don't know how you call in your team, but this is the distance the middle blocker close to the setter. And the base C, middle blockers is attacking in a few distance. Maybe the setter is in motion, okay, but the distance is not too close to the setter. We can check the double C. We can watch the signal, and the distance 1.5 maybe is a different, but all the time is set names call in front to the front, okay. Distance 2.5 or 7, okay, or B, if depend. Check the signal, check the information that the middle blocker is talking with the setter, and the setter approve or not. This call is depend the blocker, okay. If depend the reading of the opponent blockers. Maybe check when the ball is low pass, maybe when the reception is positive, is not perfect. Maybe when the reception is over zone 2, but the ball is back like free ball, and the decision after track the blockers is in repetition in the middle blockers. I want talking to you about the speed of the ball. In these times, the speed of the ball is so hard, and many teams is playing so speed in the ball. For this, it's important when we try to analyze the setter, and it's important to try to show of our middle blockers how is the speed of the ball. I want to show you one video of the USA that we try to understand how we can try to put or try to fix the position in the blocker when the ball is so fast. We can check here, for example, the speed of the ball. Check that maybe sometimes the ball is too short, okay, but it's important to show this information because the ball is not depend the receptions, is not depend of the setter zones, and in the most case the ball is so fast for all the positions. Information that we can try to find the way for put our block on defense in the same structure, because it's so complicated try to reach this ball in block. But I want to show this video because maybe your team is playing that way, or maybe the opponent teams is playing that way. We need to try to make a different structure and block and defense for try to touch the ball, or maybe try to put the defense in better position with try to reach this ball, because the speed is so fast, whatever reception, whatever sound. When we talk about reading blocks, it's important to show of our setters how is the movement of the opponent middle blocker. For this, we can check negative serve. We can check how is the block, is the formation. Maybe if it's close, maybe if helping, maybe it's too open for try to show of our setters. What is the best distribution in sometimes depend of the reception. Maybe if the reception is double plus or plus, because we are studying the negative serve of the opponent team, and we can check when the opponent middle blocker is stopped. For example, talking in this situation, I can put the video, and I can check what is the formation of the opponent middle blockers. That in this situation I can try to show of our setters, but in this situation, for example, it's not helping the setter of the opponent team, and the decision is try to call B or call double C and try to check the setback. Check the blocking. This the open blocking is not helping, that we can try to show of our setter the best decision in this case. When we check the women's matches, is the same idea. We can try to check how it's difficult for the some middle blockers try to run over 4 or run over 2. This is so good information, because the setter maybe know the best way the movements of the opponent middle blockers, for try to do or try to make sets more comfortable for our attackers. This is for me the idea when we try to read and block. This is different. For example, when the reception is plus, but when the reception is double plus, we can check the opponent blockers if it's close, or if helping, or is fake helping. But this is another situation, the fake helping. If we try to check a lot matches, we can to reach this kind of analysis for show our setters. Okay, that's all for today. I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you want more information, I have a YouTube channel, Roosevelt Campos, and we can find a lot information about the different situations. Not only the setter, information about all the skills and complete matches that you can use for check this information, or for check another informations that you want. For me, thank you so much, and have a nice day. Bye bye.